Welcome to a visual guide for the Light Rampant mechanic on e8s Savage. This is the Ilya Strat that most party finders use right now. This guide is mostly for my static, but also for anyone else who might find it useful. The Ilya Strat is one of the easiest ones to teach and learn quickly because half of the raiders do not have to do very much. The other half have a fairly complicated path that they have to walk in order to kite their orbs safely. Because of this complicated path, a lot of raiders find it difficult to do the strategy properly. This guide will look at each of the positions that you will face and give a detailed way to prevent all of the deaths that you see going on right now. I will show each position 3 times. The first time we'll show the mechanic in real time so you can get a feeling for the pace of the entire strategy. Next, I will break it down into the steps that you'll have to do, pausing at each one to give you some instructions. And finally, I'll show it in real time once again with the instructions popping up on the side. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. And with that said, welcome to the visual guide for Ilya's Light Rampant.
First, we're going to look at the chain strategy for Ilya. In all these cases, I recommend that you position yourself on your marker. First, look for the refulgent chain debuff to pop up. That tells you you're getting the chains, so you want to move right to the inside corner of the tower. Afterwards, you just want to stand still. Let the other players kite the orbs around you, while you just wait. When the second tower gets soaked by the other players, you need to move in a little bit away from the towers. This will bait the cones away from the other players. Finally, you want to check your light steep debuff. If you have 3 stacks, you move into the final tower, and if you have 4 stacks, you stay out. Looking at this again, we look for our chain debuff. You can see that right here. Once we recognize that we have a chain debuff, we want to move in slightly in our tower. This will bait cones safely away from the people who are kiting all of the orbs. With our cones safely baited, we can stand still, soak a tower, soak the cone, wait for the other towers to get soaked, and at this point we want to move in. This is when our chain debuff is gone. Move in to bait the next set of cones, and then we check our debuff. 3 is move in, 4 stay out. Here it is once again at full speed. Next position is when you get the orbs. This is if you get a tether to a north or south orb. Once again, we're checking for the refulgent chains, but if we don't get that, we need to move to one of the cardinal sides. Quickly locate which orb you're tethered to and move to the opposite side of the arena. Dodge the orbs as you go. With the north and south orb, you're right next to the second tower, so you just move into the bottom left of the tower and you soak it. Then back out slightly away from your partner, eat your orb, and then check your light steep debuff. 3s move in, 4 stay out. You won't typically know if you're north or south orb until the tethers show up. Looking at this again, you can see that we do not get the refulgent chains, we get the light steep debuff instead, so we move out to our cardinal positions and wait for our orb tethers to show up. You can see these tethers showing up here. Once we know which tether we're connected to, we move to the opposite side. Dodge is necessary. You sometimes have to curve right around this orb by quite a bit to make sure you don't get tethered, but don't drag your orb through anywhere other than the center. After it's safe, move into the bottom left of the tower, leaving plenty of room for your other partner to stand in the other side of the tower. We don't want to accidentally have our orbs hit each other. Afterwards, we back out so that our orbs do not explode and kill the people who are standing in the conal positions. We eat our orb once it shrinks and we have plenty of room. Then we go in if we have a 3 and we stay out if we have a 4. And once again, let's look at this in real time. Finally, we're going to look at the last orb's position where you're tethered to the east and west. Again, check for your debuff, move to your position, and look for what orb you're tethered to. This time you're going to be tethered to the other orb, so you move to the opposite side of your tethered orb, dodge the incoming orbs as necessary, wait for the cones, wait for a second or so for the orbs to get closer to the center, and then move towards the second tower. If you move too soon, you'll hit everyone else and explode. Move to the bottom right of the tower this time, soak the tower, back out for your orb, and then check your light steep debuff to see if you have 3 or 4. This is the hardest of the 3 positions, so let's break it down again. Check for your debuff. Noticing that we don't have the refulgent chain, we're going to move to our cardinal position, once again just like with the north-south positions. Wait for the tethers to show up. You can see these tethers are coming from the other direction, so we need to move opposing our tether. Immediately move, dodge the other orbs as necessary. I always go all the way out to this D marker. Wait until the orbs are close to the center before you dodge back in. Sometimes it's good to move directly towards the center first. Now go out to the bottom right of the tower. Eat your tower stack. You can see I'm very close to the other person in this video, so I back out, I eat the orb. Wait for the cones to show up, check your light steep debuff. We only have 3 here, so we need to move in, and the 4 stay out. And once again, we're going to see this again at real time. Thank you all for watching. I hope this has been helpful for somebody. In the background you can see a whole bunch of other successful clears of Light Rampant using various different positions. Try to follow along with them in your head and see if you can do the same things I'm doing. There's a few general things to keep in mind. If you start with an orb, you're only going to be able to take 1 mechanic. If you take more than 1 mechanic, plus your orb, you're very likely going to cause a wipe by having too many stacks of the light steep debuff. The Ilya strategy is designed so that the orb takes the second towers and nothing else. There are several other strategies out there where the tethers take different mechanics instead of the second tower. However, this video is on the Ilya strategy only. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video. Hopefully I'll be able to put out more content like this in the future. I've stopped recording as much on YouTube just due to being busy and having very little time to actually record voice. But if you want to see us play, you can watch us on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/jbram_2002. I tend to stream D&D and Final Fantasy XIV fairly frequently, and we are currently progressing through E8s Savage ourselves. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful day.